You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, presented by the Only One Media Group. This is the people's choice for quality interviews, celebrities, and special guests. Hosted by Demetrius Dinny Reynolds. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813. For the complete archive of episodes, visit onlyonemediagroup.com and be sure to like us on Facebook at Vigilantes Radio. We welcome all. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to another awesome episode of Vigilantes Radio. I'm your host, dini-mussolini, and we have a very special guest for tonight's episode. So you definitely want to stick around for that. Go ahead, grab your snacks or your choice of beverage and chill out and check out this interview that we are about to partake in. A lot of gems will be shared and a lot of insight. So I'm telling you guys, you're doing yourself a disservice if you disconnect or if you just simply hang up, you know. But anyway, text your buddy right now and tell them to tune in right now because we are about to go live. And as always, guys, I appreciate you day in and day out as we do these shows Monday through Thursday, 3 times a night. You guys are always with us, catching the live show and even sometimes the playback. So, like, much appreciation to you. Sometimes I feel like I should just send you guys a turkey sandwich in the mail. Wouldn't that be cool? You just come home and there's a turkey sandwich in the mail waiting for you. I probably wouldn't eat anything like that, but still, the thought's nice, right? Nah, just play. All right, some days are more beautiful without the sun shining brightly. Some days the cold, bitter wind feels good against my face. Some days the dark clouds impart a sense of hope and comfort. There is beauty not only in the obvious, but also in the subtle, perhaps even more. It is the pervasiveness of beauty that makes it so sublime. That dark, cold day can be just as wonderful as a bright, sunny one, right? And that's a monumental statement to the beauty of life itself. Excitement comes also in quiet moments. Love is present during lonely times. Satisfaction is also found even with hunger and desire. Hope is possible even in a midst of despair. So drink in the richness of the whole beautiful world which exists beyond the obvious and marvel each and every day at the magnificence of life. Take that from me, Dini Mussolini. That is my word, and word is bond.
You're live in the mix. Let's get this started.
Yo, hello and welcome to another awesome episode of Inside the Music or Inside the Book. Inside the Business, where we dive into the minds of the people who create marvelous things. It feels so good to be back with you guys once again. So one time for my people who are indigos, crystalline or starseeds, or for my Vigilantes audience family, and 2 times for my people who are vegetarian or vegans. If you're like me, we are averaging over 37,000 live listeners, and we've been at this for 4 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who've been rocking with the kid on this journey, and we are still evolving, baby. It is all because of you, most definitely. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, spirituality, business, literature, art, movies, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you an opportunity to tell your story. Man, we've had celebrities on our show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, CEOs, technology geniuses, visual artists, from authors to professors and aliens. or people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. Come on our show and talk to me. So check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. And that's V as in Victor. I'm passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people who should hear it. So let's create something incredible. You know the number to dial, 701-801-9813. Text that number to your buddy right now and tell them to tune in to connect with us or our guests, or you can hop in the mix directly from our website, onlyonemediagroup.com. Right from the homepage, you can slap that go live button and you'll be right here live in the mix and in the chat room with all of us. Feel free to shoot over some questions to ask our guests while they are here, but only as time permits. Sometimes my guests and I talk entirely too much and we take up the entire hour. And as always, all episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/Only One Media Group, iTunes, YouTube, or any app from the Google Play or iTunes Store, or over at our website. And that goes for every single episode that we've ever aired.
Imagine being paid for using social media. WebTalk is changing the way we connect and get paid. WebTalk is the social media platform that pays you. With WebTalk, you can promote and manage all your social media sites from one place. It includes features like user search, media galleries, referral tracking, magic newsfeed, Meet video chat, classifieds, and much, much more. WebTalk is booming with over 4 million users. Manage, connect, engage, get paid. No matter why you network, you can do it better with WebTalk. You can connect with your friends, colleagues, and the world. Use WebTalk to consolidate, organize, and syndicate everything. Imagine your perfect networking app. You will find it with WebTalk. It's time to take back control of you. WebTalk is the best free way to communicate and create success. To learn more, visit myfreewebtalk.com. That's myfreewebtalk.com.
All right, you guys, once again, welcome to the show. This is Vigilantes Radio-podcast. And I'm your host, dini-mussolini. Our very special guest tonight is a renowned actor and dancer. She goes by the name of Deborah-lee-Fong. So with that, let's go ahead and wait, I almost forgot. Our interviews go beyond the books, the music, the movies, the films, the businesses, the education, the technology, the research, and sometimes even the ego. We go into the minds of these marvelous human beings, and sometimes aliens, or people who think they're aliens, and we explore the reason why and how they do certain things that they put out into the universe. That is our goal here. You know, we have the questions and they have the answers. So now with that, let's go ahead and welcome Deborah to our show. Hello, and how are you doing?
Well, good evening, Denny, and thank you for getting me joining tonight. I think I'm as well as any of us can expect in these very challenging and unprecedented times.
Yes, indeed. Trying times they are, yeah. So, I had a guest on earlier, and they were speaking about how this may be the new way of life. So how have you been able to adapt to the stay-at-home thing and, you know, the whole online world of doing business now?
The whole online world of doing business. First, I really want to say that I am truly, and what you said at the beginning of the show this evening touched my spirit, that we do still have to marvel at the magnificence of life. And I am eternally grateful that I'm here today and able to speak to my home in good health. And I am grateful for all the people who are out there every day making it possible for me to stay in good health. Our healthcare workers, everyone, the delivery people, the grocery stores, our postal workers, everyone who's working so that my life and your life can be better and go on. So I just wanted to start that by saying I am eternally grateful. And I have been adapting to this new online world. Everything has changed, and I think we will find new ways of communicating, ways of doing business, new ways of sharing with each other, using technology. As an actor, I'm auditioning on some tapes and before the day when production will start again and go back to a way of life that brings us close together, meet each other and be near each other. But we're yet to see what that's going to be like.
Yeah, most definitely. And before we go any further, you're breaking up a little bit.
I am?
Yes.
Okay. See what I do about that. Okay.
All right.
So I don't know how much was lost in what I said, but I hope most of it was understandable.
Most definitely. So, just to, go off the traditional questions in the interview, we have a lot of beginner actors, writers, entrepreneurs, artists, you name it. A lot of beginners, people who are just starting out with their careers or their choice of careers, and people who just sitting on ideas hidden in their pockets that no one else can explore.
Right.
I was one of those before for many of years. But can you take us back to that very first moment, your very first audition? Like, what was going on in your mind? What was the part? How did you prepare for it? That type of thing.
So it was my very first time. I was very young, and it was an interview process for the neighborhood playhouse children's school theater program in Manhattan. And I remember feeling a little as if I had stepped through almost like an Alice in Wonderland kind of experience. I was very much aware of the entire room, what I had on, and clearly in my mind I was thinking, well, I have to be honest in what I say. I have to answer. I cannot pretend to be something that I'm not, right? And that was a very interesting concept for a child who was 10 years old. Okay, so what I was saying was the first real audition that I had was attending my audition for the High School of Performing Arts in Manhattan. And most people know that school as the STEM school. And at that time, it was on West 46th Street. I was going into my freshman year of high school, in the 9th grade, and I had to prepare 2 monologues. I prepared one from the story of Anne Frank and another one from the detective story. Detective story is the young girl who gets picked up for shoplifting, and then Anne Frank is the young girl who hid out with her family from the Nazis. And to approach that, I had to understand who these people were and how they could relate to my life at 13, 14 years of age. So there was research into the history of the characters, research reading the entire play. I had to study some of the history of World War II. What was it like for European Jews at that time? The thought of hiding out, the thought of not being able to go out, being locked up. What would that feel like to me, who had really relatively free childhood? Finding truth in both of the characters could I relate to? Again, for me, it's always finding the truth of the character. How can you bring that truth out? Because that is what's going to connect you to your audience. It's being clean, clear, and simple, and understand who the character is. There is homework to do for an audition, for a callback, for you must always have your history of your character. What are your objectives? What is the tragic flaw of the character? What are their vulnerabilities? What do you have in common? What is their greatest fear? There's a lot of homework that you do. And unless you do the homework, you won't connect.
That's right, yeah. I totally believe that. Do you remember that one movie that you saw, or it could have been a stage play or screenplay, that you watched and you realized that is something that you wanted to do for the rest of your life, or something that you want to pursue and, take that journey? Which film was that?
Sure. When I was a little girl, Peter Pan come on TV. Martin's Peter Pan. And I always wanted to be the role of Tiger Lily. I did, because I could relate to Tiger Lily. I thought about, I looked like Tiger Lily. To me, I looked like the Native Americans that I saw in books and in stories, and I thought, I could do that role. I want to be that person. I want to do that. So that was my very first, that's the role I want to be. And then as I got older, and I loved West Side Story, because I could relate to that. I could see myself up on the screen. Then I suppose it was Raisin in the Sun. And then I saw Oliver on Broadway. And that was my first live show.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the thought, because there are children in that show. I just fell in love with the freedom that I saw on the stage. To me, it represented freedom and exploration and just a feeling of almost flying out of your own self. What could you discover more than who you are? So that was my first live show.
Cool deal. What kind of roles what kind of roles move you the most?
Well, I like kind of quirky people, to tell you the truth, because I think we all have parts of ourselves that sometimes we kind of hide from others because they might be a little bit different. We might think differently, and we feel, we might get a little shy about expressing that. So I like characters who have a side of them that you don't necessarily see right away.
Yeah. You
don't necessarily think, that's who they are. And so when something comes out, it's like, oh my goodness, did she really say that? Did she really do that? And that's the challenge for me, to let it go, to be free, to explore.
Yeah, that's awesome. I could imagine it may come natural to you. For me, it'll be a very overwhelming challenge. But for you, it seems like you can take on these roles and live through the characters. Did that take practice, or is that something that that naturally came to you?
No, it took living a life.
Yeah.
When I started, when I was a younger actor, I was very conscious of how I looked and what I looked like, and oh my goodness, could I really do this? And that was really stilting the emotional journey and the physical journey for the character. So it comes with time. It comes with getting comfortable with yourself, comfortable in your skin. And you reach a point where the excitement of letting go is what propels you. Instead of shying back or holding back or cowering. It's very gratifying to show maybe not such an attractive side of yourself, or a goofy side of yourself, or a vulnerable side of yourself.
Yeah.
You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You have to allow that opening of the soul.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I can see that. So right now you're playing a lead role as part of the Urban World Film Festival, which is a live stream.
Well, that happened already. Yeah, that was part of their live stage screen readings, and that was a very great experience. It was my first time doing that, and it was in a play, an original screenplay called Santa's Helper, and the character is kind of like the woman in the office that everybody trusts. You know, she's been working there for quite some time, and she adopts everybody in the office. Everybody is someone that she feels she needs to look after. And I think that plays into this motherly instinct that, you know, I seem to have as well in my own life. But so it was great fun to do that. And to be part of a cast that really had some very talented people and a beautiful script, and a real learning experience, because we got to meet with the screenwriters, questions, and had a question and answer period, and dove a little bit deeper into everything, into the whole creative process. But now, with the current pandemic situation, I'm still submitting auditions and doing self-tapes, because, you know, that's the way of the world now, even before COVID-19, and getting some very positive feedback with those. So I'm looking forward, as we all are, to a time when we can resume some of those activities that we're all missing so very much right now.
Most definitely. So what exactly is a live screenplay reading?
So part of the Urban World Film Festival have a competition, and they accept original screenplays, and they had a panel that reads them, and then three was selected for presentations. It's almost like a staged reading of a play. It's a live staged reading of the screenplay. And you form it for an audience, and the screenwriter comes in afterwards, the opportunity to ask questions and talk about what they've just seen, the actors. We only had a couple of days of rehearsal, so it's not a full-out production, but it is part of the process. And that happens every year. I believe that this is the 23rd year coming up for the Urban World Film Festival in September.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of fun. And you know, you don't have weeks and weeks to prepare. You have a few days. So you're really looking to find who this character is and what you can bring to the character to make this live stage screenplay reading work.
Is this the first one ever for you?
That was the first one for Urban World. I had done some years ago.
Okay.
I was involved with the Latino playwrights at Henry Street years and years ago with Argentina, and we would do live staged readings of original plays. So, and it's an exciting process, because it's kind of rushed and kind of, let's get this done, let's get it up.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I want to check one of those out one day, especially live, you know, kind of taking the whole experience.
Come to New York in September.
Nice.
I'll make sure you get the schedule.
Yeah. So is it only going to be in New York, or is it going to be a traveling live
No,
stream?
it's in New York. It's in New York in September.
Okay. Nice. So beyond September, how far are you looking into the future?
I don't know if I'll be participating in it this year, but I am looking forward to these some results coming back from the auditions that I have been doing and that I will be doing, because we will go back to production. We will go back to our lives. It's going to be different. We're going to have some different ways of interacting, but we will go back. And I'm looking as far into the future as I possibly can. I hope to be doing lots of really great work ahead, meeting people and learning, constantly learning. I'm constantly still studying with my coaches and participating in classes, because that too is an ongoing process. You have to keep your tool, your body, yourself, your mind, working constantly. There's always something new to discover. It doesn't end.
Most definitely. And
it really doesn't.
Yeah. And you're also a fantastic dancer. How did that path begin for you?
Began with my mother, actually. My mother wanted to be a dancer. My mother wanted to take dance class, and my grandfather was a little strict and perhaps a little provincial, and he didn't feel that dance studio was the appropriate place for his daughter. So when I came along, I think she just swore to herself that I was going to have dance class, and she was going to make sure that I could partake in her dream, right? And I loved dancing. But it all started with dancing school, and then I went to Neighborhood Playhouse and suddenly found myself in drama class and speech class and just loved it and continued with dancing. So I think I have to credit my mom with putting me in the dance studio and keeping me there.
Yeah. How much are you dancing nowadays?
I'm trying to still dance at home. I'm still taking some classes online. That is an incredible experience right now as well. Yeah. Yes, because there are classes being offered from dance studios all over the world, it seems, or at least all over the United States, that are free, which is kind of cool, of course. There are master classes going on. There are acting classes going on with different coaches that you can drop in and hear them talk about their experience. So I'm doing as much as I can online and trying to stay as limber and as on top of it as I possibly can. Yeah, the danger is that you are home and you might forget you need to do some exercises every once in a while.
Right, yeah.
You don't want to do that.
You're absolutely right. And which do you prefer, the theater or screen acting?
That's a good question, because each one has their particular attributes. The adrenaline rush from performing before a live audience is always something that you can't replicate anywhere else. So there is that, and the ability to, if you're doing something that's going on for a little while, you're constantly growing and reacting, because acting is reacting, and the moments are changing every night because you're dealing with the other actors on stage, and something is going on, and you're finding a new discovery. So there's that aspect of live theater. Then filming is a different tempo and a different way of looking at yourself as well. I can't say that I really prefer one over the other, because the techniques that you're using for each one are complementary and yet a little, more refined over one over the other. So It's a hard question. That's a hard question. Perhaps filming right now is something that I am feeling a little bit more, but give me a live audience any day as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't really say one over the other, but you know what I'm getting to.
Yeah. I could imagine each one requires its own energy. Is there a film or project that you have worked on, even back in TV days, the work you've done in TV? Is there one particular project that you worked on that you are the most proud of?
I think that each one becomes an accomplishment in itself. And I can go back and say, I would have liked to have done that. Why didn't I think of that then, right? Why didn't I try that? So, no, I don't think there's any one that I'm more in love with than the other. As a younger actor, I kind of marveled that of some of the things that I did. I go, okay, I can forgive myself for that. And yet, well, there are choices that I made there that I loved as well. So, no, I can't say that anything over the other. No, that I'm proud of so many of the things that I did. There were that project for City University at one point where we were given different scripts to help therapists, psychologists, and psychiatrists in their development, as in their profession, in their discipline. So I think I'm pretty proud of those little snippets because I felt like I was really helping them become super professionals, and it gave me an ability to have to really develop very many different types of characters. So I kind of like those pieces that I did.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought about them for a while, but I think that was a real contribution.
Yeah. Everything you've done is a contribution to the overall picture of who you've become as an actor. And that's incredible to me. So I tip my hat to you for your talent. Thank you. Yes, most definitely. All right. Where do you want people to connect with you online, Deborah?
Well, on Instagram, they can go to @Deborah, DEBOREH, Lee-Fong, FONG. They can catch up with me there. And then there's a Facebook page, the same name, just Deborah-Lee-Fong on Facebook.
All right, and we'll have all those links in the show notes and in the description of this episode. So all you listeners, all you have to do is click those hyperlinks, and it'll take you directly to her. One last question for you.
Sure.
What was the best piece of advice that you've ever received, and how did you use it?
The best piece of advice I ever received was, don't hold your good stuff hostage. And that is what I try to remember in everything that I do, in every approach to every character, to trying to learn a new dance routine or a new combination, a new exercise. And to me it means don't hold myself back. Be that free person that I was talking about earlier. Have the courage and the confidence to just throw yourself in. You're not going to drown. You're not going to go under. but you are going to discover. Be open to the discovery. And that's what that means to me.
Most definitely. All right. Once again, I want to thank you so much for your insight and also letting us in on your world. It's a very interesting conversation. And I wish
thank you, Denny.
Yes.
I really enjoyed talking with you, and I wish you well, and please be well and stay safe.
Yes, and you as well. Stay safe. And let's hope we all make it through this pandemic and return to some sort of normalcy, you know?
Yes. Yes. That would be terrific. And we will. And
yes.
we will.
Oh, yeah.
We will.
All right. Well, hope to catch you on the next film.
Absolutely. We'll let you know, Jenny. Thank you so much again.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you, my Vigilantes family, as always, for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download, and you can grab that from either Spreaker.com/only1mediagroup, iTunes, YouTube, any app that's on a Google Play or iTunes store, or our website. And that goes from every single episode that we've ever aired. If you'd like to request music or a particular guest or send something for me to play, email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. If it's music, please label it by artist and title. Here's my disclaimer. We are genre-free, we do not judge, and we absolutely do not base our opinions on hearsay but facts alone. And actually, you can scratch all of that because all of my opinions are always right. That's the bottom line. This is my show, so deal with it. Nah, just kidding. On behalf of myself, Dini-Mussolini, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, either afterwards or live with us. Spread the word because sharing is caring. We stepped up our game just for you guys and our guests to make sure that you have the best experience here on our show. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, as well as Spreaker. We always follow back. That is the number one rule. Okay, well, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely great at just doing that. Avoid being too comfortable because you're messing with your potential when you do that. Peace and have a good night.
You are now listening to Vigilantes Radio, the people's choice for quality interviews, art, music, and hot topics. Hosted by Demetrius Houdini Black Reynolds of the duo No Longer the Hero. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at www.onlyonemediagroup.com. This is a Seventh Sign Regime Rebirth Worldwide Syndicate exclusive.